I didn't think in my wildest dreams that there would be a crazier drama year than 2016 on YouTube.com. But 2024 just happened, and I might have to say it might be just a little bit crazier of a year. So much stuff went down this calendar year, and this is gonna be your official 2024 drama tier ranking, and I'm gonna get into it in just a second. But before I do, hey, hi, hello, my name is Dan Frampton. Welcome to the Art of Slop. There we go, that's better. Now we don't have any time to waste. We're gonna have to pull this up right away because there is over 33 stories to get into, and I'm probably not even going to be touching on every little thing. So if I miss a drama, comment down below and I'll give it a tier ranking down there, okay? Now the first one I want to talk about is In Praise of Shadows. Do you remember the In Praise of Shadows drama? This guy normally goes on to his channel and talks about horror films. This guy talks about the psychological elements in horror films. He makes really long deep dive video essays about, checks notes, horror films, okay? So this guy dedicated one part of his video essay to going in on YouTubers, in particular Wendigoon. He called Wendigoon a racist. He was like, hey, I'm pretty close to the Appalachian Mountains, okay? I know what people from Appalachia are like, and let me tell you, all of them are racist. And all of those YouTubers that associate with Wendigoon, guess what? They're gun tubers, far right, and he just kept on going for whatever reason, and all of it was just complete lies. I have no idea what kind of vendetta this guy had against Wendigoon and Brendan Buckingham, the list goes on, but this certainly happened this year, and I gotta say, I don't know, I'm feeling kind of C tier on this drama, if I'm being honest. It was kind of funny when it was going on. In the grand scheme of things, it really wasn't anything, especially to what else went on in this year. So for now, I might readjust it. We're going to be putting In Praise of Shadows in C tier. The next drama, kind of a big one, okay? This one kind of reached far and wide on the internet. This was the I'm Alex situation. Here we have I'm Alex, UK commentary YouTuber. This guy had one of these squeaky clean kind of reputations or whatever, but then a lot of leaks came out about him being really verbally abusive, potentially physically abusive to his girlfriend, Alice Hez. He called her the N-word a bunch of times, but the big one was that he threatened to smash her face with a brick. It was insane, the clip is nuts, and Alex hasn't been back to the internet since, and because of how much of an internet sensation he was, this is going to be an A-tier drama for the year, in my opinion. If you disagree, let me know down below. The next one, a little bit more niche. This is going to be the Just a Robot drama. Now, probably not a lot of people know about the Just a Robot drama. It was just kind of around in like the subsection of the overall greater commentary community. But this Just a Robot guy, man, holy crap. He went to bat for somebody that was proven to be interacting in a suggestive, explicit sexual manner with a child, okay? That person being known as Cinny Bear. Now, Cinny Bear was engaged in some back and forth Discord messaging that was disgusting, okay? And it was out there and it was proven. And then Just a Robot made an entire video defending Cinny Bear. He was like, it's so funny. They were just cooming together, he says. Yeah, that is what they were doing. It was just a goon session. Holy shit, man. It was very silly, very disgusting, very degenerate. Pretty funny, but I'm going to put it right down there in C tier as well. Now for one that everybody knows. Now for one that everybody talked about. Jack Doherty and his car driving incident. It wasn't so much a driving incident as much of it was a crashing incident. This guy took his car, what is it, a McLaren, out there with the worst paint job in the world, which I secretly kind of like. I really like obnoxious paint jobs, I'm not gonna lie, but I can't be dishonest with you and say that it's not an obnoxious paint job. But that's not the story. Jack Doherty was out there speeding in the rain on the highway while he was looking at chat, okay? And that spun out into him hydroplaning, crashing his car, and then being the biggest sociopath ever afterwards. As people from the public came over to rescue him, he gave him his phone. It was like, film me as you drag me from my window out of my car. And then his cameraman, just bleeding from the face, is being made to continue working immediately after the crash. And then every corner of the internet had their say on this drama. So I'm gonna say, Jack Doherty, A-tier drama. Okay, we're going niche again. The Lol Cow podcast. We're going to stay with that for a couple entries here. First, we're going to talk about the Tommy C situation, okay? Tommy C was originally wrangled by Keemstar to come in and host, so to say, the Lol Cow podcast with Wings of Redemption and Boogie 2988. It was a train wreck of a show at first. I could not watch it. I could not listen to it. Tommy C ended up having to leave. There was a whole payment dispute, back and forth, whole lot of nothing really. I'm giving the Tommy C drama D tier. But speaking of the Lol Cows and speaking of Boogie 2988, we got him right over here. Now, he is one of the Lol Cows in this aforementioned Lol Cow podcast, and he was kind of caught lying about cancer this year. He made a video a while ago being like, oh, I got cancer, everybody. And then he would milk the fact that he had cancer anytime he got into any controversy. He's like, oh, it's the cancer, guys. Just a bad cancer day, he'd say. Sorry for the bad cancer day over here. Oh, sorry, Boogie, for the bad cancer day you're having over there. Then people did some digging. There was a famous interview between Boogie 2988 and Destiny, through grit and Adderall, found the fact that Boogie was lying about the whole thing. Then Keemstar made Boogie 2988 get liar tattooed on his face. Hilarious drama, if I'm being honest with you. There are some very serious dramas this year, but for silly dramas, like, putting it here in A tier feels bad. This is epic stuff, people, to the actual definition of what epic is. Legends were made and lores were strengthened this year through the Boogie drama. So putting it here in A tier feels like such a disservice. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. First S tier drama of the year, Boogie lying about cancer. Jesus Christ, it had absolutely everything. And not only that, I'm gonna package the whole like crypto scam into it as well. Boogie just had a hell of a year when it came to outstanding YouTube dramas. And then, not to mention his whole July 4th video where Keemstar was having a party and Mudahar came over and there was that whole awkward interaction. My God, yeah. Boogie, S tier, man. Now we're gonna talk about a drama that I gotta say, not enough commentary YouTubers talked about this year, including myself. And that is the astronomical fall off of angry reviews. If you are on TikTok, if you are on Instagram through 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, you probably know this face where he would look angrily at a thing, but then at the end, it turned out he wasn't angry because he just found it gorgeous and he screamed gorgeous at things, right? And then people would like send him fan art of himself and he would look at it angrily and go, gorgeous! He was great, he was cool, but then the fall off was pretty astronomical, not gonna lie to you here. But it didn't really make a whole lot of waves. It had to do with DV and catching a felony and him just spiraling because of it. A lot of crazy stuff, if I'm being honest with you. It had all the elements to be an A-tier drama. But I can't do that. It didn't really cause the ripples online that it should have. But still a crazy story all the same. Just these stories here are nuts and we're just getting started. Next one I gotta talk about, internet legend, drama sphere icon. We gotta talk about Mr. Fousey himself, Yusuf. Had a hell of a year, physically assaulting staff members, firing people, crashing out, you know, the usual. But my favorite thing that Fousey did was this live stream where he put himself in a corner with all these pictures and all these cutouts of Kai Cenat and Aiden Ross, just looking like the craziest person in the world. But not much of a drama, not much to see here, just more Yusuf being Yusuf. But another funny thing that he did actually was after all of that crazy stuff he did, there was this clip of him saying, "Oh man, I came online after my manic episode and I saw what Fousey did. And me, Yusuf, the guy looking at Fousey, is so ashamed." And then he went on to say that he was gonna off himself live on Twitch. Crazy stuff. Fousey being Fousey. I'm gonna go C tier with this drama too. Now we gotta move on to another lolcow that was made this year, and I think he might actually have a redemption arc coming around the corner, and that is Mr. Bradley Taste in Music. Okay? This guy is a music reviewer online. But basically, he just listens to the music all the way through on stream. He gets people to pay him money to listen to music all the way on stream. And he crashed out times a million this year. Very sad stuff for Brad Taste in Music. He blamed it on his weed addiction. He charged back money from one of his editors for like an editing software that he bought them. But it all started when he took a picture with H3H3. Now we might be talking about H3H3 a little bit later on in this video, but the internet didn't like Bradley Taste in Music's involvement with H3H3. A lot of accusations of Zionism and that kind of thing, and then Bradley being like, "Oh, I didn't realize he was such a problematic person." I'm not going to get into all this drama, but he really didn't know how to handle that part of his audience turning against him, and that just led to incident after incident of him reacting in poor ways. Then he came on and begged his audience for $10,000, and now where it sits today, Bradley Taste in Music is out of his house where he was once living. His ex-fiancée is now his ex-fiancée. Brad is living back with his parents, and he just finished a rehab program. He's back to streaming, he's back doing his thing, but it is clear that this year took such a toll on Brad Taste in Music. If he can keep it together and if he can keep going strong, I think he can dig himself out of this. But I'm gonna say that the Bradley Taste in Music drama is about a B tier. Alright, we might as well knock out another big one while we're here. Let's talk about Dr. Disrespect. In 2020, Twitch was like, "We're suspending you, Doc," which was pretty big news because Doc was their biggest streamer. He ends up coming back, but this time to YouTube. Years go by, 4 of them to be honest, and then some guy tweets, "The reason why Doc was suspended was because of Twitch whisper messages to a minor." Revelations! Then Doc does a statement admitting to it, saying yes, there were inappropriate messages with a minor. He edits that statement to take the word minor out, gets called out for it, and then puts the word minor back in. Absolutely crazy stuff. And because of how big of a streamer he was and how massive the fall off is, we're going top of A tier for this one. Okay, Anthony Fantano talked about Ronnie Radke. Ronnie Radke didn't like it. Ronnie Radke is suing Anthony Fantano. B tier. Sony put hundreds of millions of dollars into developing this team multiplayer online kind of video game kind of thing called Concord. It failed worse than ever. We're going A tier with that. This thing was crazy. This next one isn't a drama and really shouldn't be ranked in any sort of way, but RIP Too Mad. Minecraft YouTuber drama. George Not Found, Wilbur Soot, Katie Bugs. D tier. This stuff sucked. The Act Man versus Andy Pants Gaming. I'm gonna go D tier for that too. I think everybody is kind of sick of woke versus anti-woke kind of stuff. I was gonna move it up to C tier, but it does not hold a candle to In Praise of Shadows, Just a Robot, or FouseyTube. So I'm sorry. The Act Man, you have to hang out here in D tier. If this was last year or the year before, Act Man would be like A tier drama. Aiden Ross leaving Kick, B tier. Turkey Tom's statement about cheating and people's reaction to it, and his beef with Froggy Fresh and everything around that, C tier. Even though it did get my channel the most views so far. Now, so for that, I'm gonna put that A tier. That's great. That's good for this channel. Thank you, Turkey Tom. Moist Critical's debate with Sneeko that led to Moist Critical kind of giving up on drama, B tier. Nikocado got skinny. Another legendary moment. How can you not give this S tier? Fake nice guy Cody Ko gets called out for having relations with a 17-year-old Tana Mojo. Nobody really seems to care. Then D'Angelo Wallace makes a video about it, calling out everybody for not calling it out. Cody Ko disappears, doesn't apologize, and shows up to play DJ sets. C tier. Keffels versus Mudahar versus that thumbnail. My God, that thing was drama times 100. We're going A tier with that one. Johnny Somali faces 10 years in prison in Korea for being such a disrespectful piece of crap IRL live streamer. Well, we're going B tier for that one. This year, there was a war on Slop, Raymundo, Soggy Cereal, Terror, a couple other people out there making these videos slandering the Slop, okay? You can't stop the Slop. The Slop is gonna win. I'm sorry. D tier. You tried to start a movement, everybody, but it got snuffed out pretty quickly. Everybody that made their little drama video about Slop ended up deleting it, but moving on. Now we're going to be moving into my favorite dramas of the year, starting with the fall of Bo Blacks, another video that did pretty good on this channel. Go back and watch that video if you want. There's a lot of lore and a lot of history here. If I'm being honest with you, it's pretty historic on the commentary side of things, but it didn't really make its way out to the greater internet in a big rippling way. So I'm gonna put that right here in A tier. Now we have 3 remaining dramas, and all of these dramas are divided up into kind of subcategories that kind of tie into one another. So let's talk about the Mr. Beast situation first. Mr. Beast gets together with KSI and Logan Paul to put out Lunchly. Everybody goofs on it, but then the makers goof back. They like their cheese drippy, bruh. Turns into a bit of a moldy scenario that gets debunked pretty quickly, but still, a very moldy scenario did occur that caused a lot of discussion to happen. But I am not feeling a lot with this Lunchly situation. We're going D tier with it. And kind of coupled with the Lunchly situation and the backlash with it, there was the KSI thick of it drama, because KSI put out a kind of cringe little song on the back of this Lunchly thing. D tier. Mr. Beast, Mr. Beast, Mr. Beast, Mr. Beast Games over there on Amazon Prime. Mr. Beast, as of recording here, officially has his response out, and I am going to make a video on that response where I will address this stuff in a little bit more detail. But the Mr. Beast Games part of this drama, I'm going to put in B tier. It didn't really make as many ripples as these other 2 elements of the drama did. Ava Chris Tyson, oh my God, the group chats, the discords, the lolicon. This degenerate pervert got away with it for so long. This part of the drama, top of A tier. Deplorable stuff, if I'm being honest with you. Dogpack404 enters the chat. This guy hits us with a couple videos that really go after Mr. Beast. And the internet takes them very seriously at first because Dogpack404 is a former employee of Mr. Beast. Now, like I said, I'm going to be getting into Mr. Beast's response more detailed in a future video. But where it stands right now is it looks like Mr. Beast is going to be suing the pants off of Dogpack404. Legendary stuff. This part of the drama is going S tier. And then, ladies and gentlemen, inferior culture man himself, Asmongold, goes on about how Palestine has an inferior culture. He ends up getting banned for 2 weeks from Twitch. Says that he's sorry. Says that he's gonna go to Dubai sometime. Claims that he's not racist. He needs to change. He cleaned his room. Whatever. Very silly, but also abhorrent stuff that started to shine a little bit of a light on what was going on down there at Twitch. So, Asmongold, you are gonna go in between Dr. Disrespect and I'm Alex. But speaking of Twitch, the anti-Semitism going on over there at Twitch is insane. They ended up region locking all of Israel for a little bit. Hey, you can't sign up for our platform. They got called out for it. And now there seems to be a bunch of advertisers pulling out of the platform because of all this messy stuff going on. So I'm going to fit that snugly here right beside Asmongold. But the 2 people fanning that flame over there at twitch.tv is, you know, Hassan and Ethan. Hassan Piker, biggest leftist streamer over there on Twitch. Used to have a podcast with Ethan Klein until the Israel versus Palestine conversation started to dominate the news headlines. Then their heads would end up butting and the podcast would dissolve from there. The amount of drama, the amount of money, and the amount of insanity that is going on because of these two guys' response to one another and everything that's going on, fanning the flames, making it go as crazy as possible. Hassan versus Ethan and all of its rippling effects. S-tier drama. Now this next one is the last one. It might be a little bit divisive. I'm going to say it is a little bit divisive, but its inclusion in this list might also be arguable, but it happened all online, okay? So I'm going to say the biggest drama of the year. That's right. Bigger than Mr. Beast. Bigger than Ethan Klein, bigger than Twitch and Boogie and all of that. Oh, are you meaning to tell me that there's a bigger thing than Dogpack 404? Yeah, how about this guy named Donald J. Trump? Alright, this guy catches so many felonies, almost gets assassinated a couple times, and still gets elected to the presidency of the United States of America. Unbelievable. Unprecedented. His felony record means he can't work at McDonald's, but he can be the president of the United States of America. And how can that not be the biggest drama of the year? Top of S tier. Congratulations, Donald J. Trump. And there it is. There's the official 2024 drama tier list. I'm pretty happy with the way that it looks down here. Hell of a year in drama. Do you think it was crazier than 2016? Let me know down there in the comments. Did I miss any drama? Let me know also so I can give it a belated tier ranking. But now it's time to close the slop shop. Thank you for watching. Really appreciate it. Hit me with a subscribe and a like on your way out. And until my next upload, watch another upload. All right, take care and have a good one.